Hello.
We love you, Leeds, Leeds, Leeds.
Don't know what happened there, but hello. Welcome back to Imagine Not Being Leeds for your Leeds v Swansea City preview. Welcome back to the show with a man with the worst moustache on YouTube. Well into, deep into Movember. But yeah, this has probably been going since early October. So it needs to go, I think. Get it till the end of November. I'll have to get it off because it's a bit embarrassing now, but I like to make a fool of myself. But yeah, here to talk on the game on Sunday. We're at the Swansea Stadium. I didn't realise it had changed its name from the Liberty, to be honest. But yeah, the Swansea Stadium, as it's now known. Hey up, Danny. Danny knows where it's at, Matty, in his porn tash. Yeah, mate, you know that, mate. Yeah. Anyone in here, please smash a like, subscribe to the channel. And yeah, we'll get into it. So we had this press conference today, Daniel Farker. Sorry, not well at the minute. And yeah, it weren't a bad one, to be fair. I was buzzing to hear Ramazani is very close to being back. Got an inkling he might even met the bench maybe on Sunday. We'll see, but no need to rush him. But like I said in the previous video, I don't want him to be too long out because, you know, I'm not saying we miss him too much in terms of we're getting points, etc. But I can't wait for him to be back and firing on all cylinders because everyone raises the game when Ramazan is in that side. You know, you tend to raise your levels when you're playing with, you know, a certain class of player, and Ramazan is definitely that. I cannot wait to see him back on grass. I reckon maybe a couple of sub appearances, getting 20-25 minutes. Like Danny says, I don't think he'll play it next two for me. I reckon we might see him on Wednesday, maybe coming off a bench against Luton at Ellen Road. Maybe this one's a little bit too soon for him, but it's nice to hear, you know, obviously with 3 games in 7 days, it's nice to hear he's back for that sort, you know, whether it's Wednesday or whether it's next Saturday. It's nice to hear he's back. Like I say, 3 games in 7 days, mate. It's crazy. After 2 weeks, no football. And I say no football, I know we did have football, but it's not the football we're all asked for, is it? Let's be fair. But yeah, it's nice to hear it's, you know, he's almost back, and also good news about Ampadu as well. He's ahead of schedule. Really happy with that. Whether or not he'll get his spot back remains to be seen. Whether I agree he should do, I don't know, but it's just nice to hear he's ahead of schedule, and you know he should be back at some point in December, I think, and that's way better than, you know, the back end of January as we'd sort of hoped at best. So I'm buzzing with that news. Like Danny's pointed out here, Voba with a knee, not good again, pal. No, it's just annoying, isn't it? You know, he's out for us, injured, knocks here left, right, and centre. Can't get fit. As soon as the international break comes up, it's straight away to play for Austria. And yeah, I just don't like how there were 2 games to be played. He didn't play any minutes in first one, I'm led to believe, and then he plays 90 in second one. Why couldn't he have done that the other way around? It's annoying. Like I say, he comes back to Leeds, crocked again, and I'm starting to question his desire to play for Leeds. I think when he knows he's not a starter, is that affecting his you know, want to even to be fit, if you know what I mean? It's one of them where I'm starting to question things like that now with Oba. I think if he's a starter, you know, is he a lot more available than he is currently? Possibly. But yeah, it's not, like I say, you know, this, like Danny rightly says as well, this Schmidt out as well. It's a bit of a blow. I'm excited to see what Schmidt can deliver after his last sub appearance against QPR. It's one of them where I'm hoping he kicks on and is a real asset for us. But when you look at Vober and Schmidt, they're not really going to affect us too much on Sunday. The 2 players on the fringe of the side out, but they're not starters currently, so it's not too bad. And obviously Ramazani and Ampadu getting close to fitness is brilliant news as well. But yeah, out of the press conference, that was pretty much it, I think. Obviously, Firpo's going to be missing for 2 more games after his very silly suspension away at Millwall. So I assume, with Schmidt being out especially, even though I don't think that plays into it, I think Byram starts at left back for Firpo, which I'm okay with. I think he can do a valiant job as a squad filler player, as we've seen already this season, and last season is capable of that. Easy. Pido has to start for me and James. Yeah, we'll touch on that, buddy. Hi, my A up easy. Ramazani probably won't start, but I think the other wingers will feel they have to perform. 100%, mate. 100%. Like I say, it'll raise everyone's game in being back. You know, it's going to be interesting to see how long it takes Ramazani to get back into the side. I think it will just be match sharpness. I think as soon as he gets that, he'll be a starter again. It's going to be interesting to see if he goes with Nonto on left and James on right, or whether he goes with Nonto on right and Solomon on left. It's really interesting. Easy. I don't know if you'll want Solomon to play. I would not think you do. I assume when you say Pido starts, obviously that's over Joseph and James to start. I'm assuming that means Nonto out to the left. Should we ignore Radzani's comments winding us up? Yeah, I don't listen to what Radzani says anymore, mate. He just don't wind up constantly, and he's just a tit. Be a close game for me. Yeah, potentially, Danny. We'll get into that. Hey up, Dan, you all right? Boss Nas, Seasiders TV. Thanks for dropping in, pal. But yeah, Swansea. It doesn't really matter what players they've got. It doesn't matter what the manager is. It's sort of in Swansea's DNA to keep possession. They're a possession-based side. They have been for many years, since the Gary Monk days, I suppose, and before probably. You know, they've got some all right players. I don't want to come on here and do a Millwall, because you know what I was like on that when I find it very hard in certain games. You know, don't want to disrespect anyone, but I really struggle to see a Swansea, a QPR, a Millwall, you know, sides who at best are fighting for mid-table. I find it really hard to not come on here and say we're going to absolutely dismantle sides and a bit of an happy clapper. But I do feel like in this division, I mean, you'll see a lot more next season when we're in Premier League, which I believe it will be. I'll be a lot more level-headed. You know, I'll probably tip us to struggle in a lot of games, as probably a lot of people will. Like, I aren't just pie in the sky sort of thing. But in this league, there's a couple of fixtures like the Middlesbrough one coming up. You know, that in a few weeks that'll be a tough game, and you know I won't hide from that. And I'm not just going to be an happy clapper saying we'll smash Middlesbrough, because I don't think that'll be an easy game at all. But games like this, you know, these are games I can't really tip anything other than, you know, a dominant Leeds performance and, you know, 3 points. I am really concerned about that away form. I really can't shy away from that. I think that away form really needs to pick up. Looking through Leeds' performances this season, we haven't strung 3 wins together in a row. Obviously, that restarted again with Millwall loss. So beat QPR. Hopefully, we can get 3 points on Sunday, which I believe we will. And then we've got an home game against Luton, which won't be easy either. You know, irrespective of where they are in league, that'll be a tough game at Ellen Road. But, you know, a win here on Sunday at the Swansea Stadium, and you know, we're well on his way for getting his first block of 3 wins in a row, which we need to start doing. You know, it's been 2 months since we won away from home, and whenever you're not winning away from home, you can't put a run bigger than 2 games, can you, together? Because you're always going to have an away game, in a batch of 3. So we need to start winning away from home, and there's some games you don't mind dropping points away from home. This is one of these ones where I don't want to drop anything. You know. Your Millwall, when you maybe accept you might drop points, albeit a draw rather than a loss, you don't for. This is like Bristol City level for me. I know Bristol's a bit of a longer away day and travelling, but it means no to them. They can get there by any means, can't they? But you know, like Bristol City game, this would be very much like that if we drop points there. This needs to be 3 points for me for Leeds. It needs to be like we're levels above. You know, yeah, we've had players who are in international duty, but we've been done a bit of a favour by playing on Sunday, so we get that extra day. You know, we haven't got no new injuries. I think Rodon picked up an head knock, but it's something to note. There's no excuses for me here. We need to really go and you know, and come away with 3 points by any means necessary. The performance in this one don't really bother me. I'm going to a game on Wednesday at Ellen Road, and you know, I want to see a performance and the result on Wednesday. I do, as a paying fan. That's what I demand when I go to Ellen Road. This, honestly, I'm not bothered. But we need to win. We need 3 points. We really do. There's no two ways about that. We need 3 points. Michael Gott says we need to go ahead. They're all disciplined and solid. Yeah, man. Yeah. Danny, I've already said everyone starts January. Yeah, with Bamford's back. You sausage. I think Farker will adopt to be cautious from the start, and that means Solomon. I wouldn't be surprised if Farker goes for Gilavogi over. Yeah, I don't see it though, mate. It'd be a right call that, wouldn't it, if you played Gilavogi over Tanaka. I don't see it, me. I really don't. I really just think if he sees Gilavogi as, a bench option. I honestly, I know we've got 3 games coming up in 6 days. Maybe I'll eat my words, and I'd love to see Gilavogi start. I just don't think he'll start him unless his injuries, me, and that's crazy because for me in this block of games, he can't be beasting Rothwell and Tanaka. So I think Gilavogi's sound. He can definitely fill in there and start games for me. So I'd like to see Gilavogi start a game at next 3. I really would. I just think you're pushing it. I mean, there's a couple of games this season where I've seen, from the stands, Rothwell holding his hamstring. Sorry, there were 2 games this season when he's held his hamstring. He's stretching it out. He hasn't pulled it, obviously, but he obviously can feel tightening around there. And that's happened twice now. And I'm scared that, 3 games in 6 days is too much for a lot of people, to be fair. And if he has got, a little bit of tightening there, and it's something that happens regularly, because like I say, I've seen it 2 or 3 times now at Ellen Road in particular. And when you've got someone like Gilavogi there who's experienced, he can fill in there. He can play against your Swansea. He can play against your Lutons. He's probably as good as any of their players in that position anyway. And I don't think that's a ridiculous statement. And he's our 5th choice probably in general, but 3rd choice at minute. And I'd like to see Gilavogi get minutes, mate. I just don't think he'll start him. Solomon, for me, he'll start Solomon 100%. I see it being Solomon and Nontalon right. Solomon at left, Nontalon right. And Solomon needs a good game. He really does. Now Ramazani's close to being back. Let's have it where Solomon has a worldie, gets an assist, gets in a goal. We want that. We want, not that it's going to be hard for Ramazani to get back inside at all. I don't think it will be. But we want Solomon now for next 2 games. He'll know, his time's running out to really kick on and make a stake, because he hasn't really made a stake for that left-hand side with the injuries he's had. He's been lucky that Ramazani, lost his play. Well, lost that role due to his injury, and Solomon came in, and he hadn't really took it. So, I mean, like I said, we've even tried not to want left. Goes to show, done it? Like Solomon's just not really nailed it, his positions at Master really, and Ramazani for me will come back in. But if you're a professional footballer, Solomon, big wages from Tottenham, high ceiling, talent, he'll know how good he is. He'll know what he can do. He'll have expected a better run so far. So for me now, he's got 2 games to, in his head, try and win that shirt before Ramazan is back flying, and hopefully we see that starting Sunday. Whether he's back or not, it starts January. I don't know, Danny. I'm looking at this run, me, now, and thinking we can make a real statement, me. 5 games. I think Middlesbrough's toughest one, but it's at Ellen Road, so there's still a massive chance we'll win that one. I'd like to see us go and, maybe get 4 wins and a draw at worst, 3 wins and a couple of draws won't be end it will. But I'd like to see him make a right big statement now. And for me, there's no reason why that run can't start now. We come through an international break unscathed. A couple of injuries coming back. Yeah, Ampadu's still probably, 4 to 6 weeks off, maybe back end of December possibly. But it's positive news. He's back on grass. He's doing light training. That'll lift the boys. Seeing your captain come back maybe a month early. Like I say, Ramazani back. Or just about back. There's no reason why we can't start that run now, Danny. I mean, Swansea away and Luton at home. It's not the easiest of fixtures. Don't get me wrong. Swansea away can be a tricky place to go, and Luton at home won't be easy, no matter what the league position says. But when you look at both sides, neither of these sides are flying. And on paper, I know it's not played on paper; it's played on grass, but it's definitely 2 games we can win, and then we've got some real momentum then going into a couple of tougher games. So for me, mate, it might be a bit of a tricky game potentially, but I think we'll come through it. The only 2 teams that bother me are Borough and Blackburn. Yeah, the Blackburn one's potentially a tricky one, mate, but I feel the fact we've got 7,000 tickets and we've sort of sold out one of their stands is a real coup for the Leeds. I mean, that's massive that way from them. Who gets that? So I think that really gives us an edge in that game. I feel like Blackburn are in a bit of a false position, to be fair. I think they've had an all right season considering they lost Smodics and stuff like that. But yeah, they've got a couple of really talented players, Blackburn. I think what it is when they're away from home, you look at Blackburn, you think, yeah, we should do them. But when they're away from home, at the minute, we're all a bit nervy of us away form. And we need to rectify that now and stop worrying about teams like Blackburn and your Bristols and your Millwalls and, and your Swanseas. We shouldn't be worrying about teams like it's just because they're away from home. It seems a little bit trickier, doesn't it? Like you can't guarantee we're going to get 3 points. Whereas I'm sure you'd all agree when these games are at home, you expect nothing less. Solomon needs to start showing something that I can see, or I can't see the use in keeping him. Yeah, I agree, mate. Do I think he'll go back? No, I think in January. I think the only way he goes back in January is if he demands to go back, or Tottenham recall him. I don't know how that loan works. But if Ramazani comes back in the next couple of weeks, mate, and Solomon's only getting 15 minutes, 20 minutes a game again, and not looking good in that as well, maybe he'll go and say I want to go back. But for me, I don't think as a club we will do that. We saw Jayden Anthony on loan for season, not getting many minutes last year, and for me, he's better than Jayden Anthony. So if we can keep Solomon happy-ish on bench for 25 minutes a game, 20 minutes a game, I'd take that. But it's an interesting one with Solomon, like you say. For me, he's got to start, and he's got to start now. He's a few weeks into sort of playing the minutes he's had recently, and he hasn't looked brilliant. I feel like he's off the bench. He's had a couple of moments where he's had a few flashes. We're not doing great, but like I say, he really needs to step it up now, or his minutes are going to be well scarce once Ramazan is back. We said the same at Bristol. We did, pal. I know. Easy, I think his contract, we can't send him back. I hope not. I hope we can't. Watford are the best team to play this season. Forgot Middlesbrough. That was a cup. Yeah, I know. Middlesbrough cup, mate. I don't count that one. I was there and it was awful. But I'm sure that will be the toughest game when we come up against them. It really will be a tough one, that. But yeah, Watford, mate. By far best side. For me, I've seen Ellen Road anyway, especially Ellen Road. Like I say, you think we were 2-0 up within 10 minutes, 8-9 minutes, whatever it was. And then all I remember for the next 80 minutes were Watford. We were lucky to come out with that with a win, to be fair. We scored 2 goals, but it was so early on, there was still, I think, injury time. I think it went to about 98 minutes, so there were pretty much another full 90 minutes to sit there, and, the beatings 1-0 for the rest of the game, and we were hanging on it times in that game. So, yeah, I agree. Watford were one of the better sides we've played, and they do having a good season out there under Cleverly. I think even if Ramazan is back, I think I can see Solomon in the 10 with Adamson. Yeah, I think so, mate. I think as long as he stays, like you say, if he's here for the season, I do think he'll get that role at some point. Maybe just off at bench. To be fair, if Aronson want to pick up an injury, I reckon you see Solomon in there if he's fit from the start. I do think he's got, especially in this division at this level, I feel like he can do a really good job in the 10. But yeah, just want to touch on some bits from Swansea. Just get this screen up, see if this works. I enjoy bringing up these shared screens. It's something I'm learning, so I'm learning on the job. Let's check that's come across. Look at that. Come on. Loving that. So Swansea are 11th in the Championship. So the home form, isn't that bad. Like looking at the home form, they've only lost 1 at home all season, which isn't bad. But I mean, the home form table, they're sat 12th, 3 wins, 3 draws, 1 loss. Their problem is scoring goals. They've only scored 11 for the full season. 11 in 15 games is shocking. Absolutely shocking. But on the other side of that, they've only conceded 10. And when you compare that to Leeds, we're really good defensively. As we all know, really good defensively. 9 conceded. They've only conceded 10 goals. So they really are to break down, which when we're a team, we create a lot of chances. But if they're going to limit those chances, which it's sort of proven they've been good at this season, these big chances we keep missing and really do trip us up from time to time. We can't be fun to do that because we need to be clinical when you've got when you're coming up against such a good defence. They're really well organised side of Swansea. I've watched a couple of games this season, and yeah, they don't play great football. They like to keep possession, but they're not very threatening. I think the top scorer, let me just check. Yeah, Liam Cullen, 2 goals, and Zan Vipotnik with 2 goals as well. So the top scorers are joint on 2, which ain't great. But like I say, when the defence is as good as it is, they're really, really hard to break down. We need to be on top form when it comes to that, XG. Whatever chances we get, we need to be putting them away. As I've said on many a times here, and a lot of people don't agree with, is I'm a big advocate for Matteo Joseph starting and Pirro coming on, because I think that works. A lot of people disagree, most people do, but I just think that chemistry works. That he starts for whatever reason. Pirro comes off a bench and tends to always get a goal. In this game, I'm sort of going against that narrative. I just think at the minute Pirro is in such good form, and when you look how they play and you look at the chances are so limited, I kind of feel like I'm going to go against my own thought process with this and go, I think Pirro needs to be on for longer than the 25 minutes he'll get if Joseph starts. I feel like when it's such a killer in box and you've got a team that doesn't give away many goals, I feel like maybe 25 minutes for your top goal scorer, probably most threatening striker in league at the minute, probably isn't enough. So I'm going to go against me on this one and say I actually wouldn't mind Pirro starting this just to give him more minutes on pitch. More minutes is on pitch. As long as the rest of the side do their job and get the ball into him and give him these chances, we know he puts it away. Very often, it's very rare does Pirro miss big chances. Very rare. I can't remember last time, he doesn't hit the target. He always hits the target every time. The keeper's got to have a worldie of a game. If Pirro's on top form, the keeper's got to have a worldie of a game to keep him from scoring. I just want to see him, because I think he will start, to be fair. I just want to see him give a lot more in the moments where, the ball isn't finding him. And yeah, he's not going to give you the press. He's not going to give you the stuff that Matteo Joseph gives you, isn't. But I do want to see a bit more from him. I don't want it to just be a case of he's invisible and he might pop up with a goal. I want to see more from Pirro. But yeah, with this game, with how limited the chances might be, I am actually going against what I normally say, and I do fancy Pirro for starting this one. Andy Rowe, what is me? Leeds compete against a better team than they'll perform this week. Yeah, all time. It feels like it's been something in our DNA for years. I feel like we've always done that. Always raises level, don't we? And problem is, everybody raises a level for us, Andy. As we all know, I'm not saying no one doesn't know. You know what I mean? It's everyone's cup final. We say that. Some people might not feel it. Some people might not even believe that. But certainly, more often than not, especially in this division, 100% in this division, we are the biggest fish in this pond, and it might not be an FA Cup final every game, but it's everyone's biggest attendance every game, everyone's biggest away attendance when they come to Welling Road. It's such an easy game for everybody else for Leeds United, to raise your game. It's so easy for them because it's just, you look at the fixture. I would assume if you are one of these lower sides, no disrespect to them, but we're Leeds United, I would expect it's one of the first fixtures they look for when fixtures come out, to see when they can visit Ellen Road, to see when Leeds are visiting their place, and it's just obvious that that's the case, and it's so easy for them to raise their levels. This is where the quality needs to show. Many a times over the years we've been outfought and outworked, and that's something you can't accept as a Leeds fan. Minimum is Dan James level, Aronson level. Minimum is just 100% effort, regardless of quality. And we had many years where we didn't have no quality, and a lot of people didn't give a shit about wearing shirt either. So it's really nice now to, even last season or second last season into account, after it really felt a bit in Premier League, it's really nice to have a set of lads who I'm proud of, paying me money to go watch and stuff like that. I just want to be proud of boys. I want to be proud of our support, and they really give that. And you sprinkle that with quite a bit of quality, especially in this division. And that's why I believe we'll romp this league and we'll start to create a gap. And it talks about Matty, I'm proud of how far you have come since starting this channel, and I'm proud and honoured to be on it. Danny, you're an absolute legend. Thanks for that, mate. Thanks so much. Yeah, I'm trying my best, mate. Learning on the job. I've always stated, Danny, I'm not very techie, so as simple as it actually might be to present another slide and talk about other bits rather than just waffling on myself, it's actually it's easier than I thought it would be, but it's still quite hard for someone who's just not techie minded at all. So no, I really appreciate that, Danny, man. Thanks a lot, and you've been here from day one, and hopefully you'll be here for many more days yet, buddy. I'm loving it. Thanks so much, buddy. DJ and Pirro against their old club. Yeah, there's Rodon as well. There's quite a few in there. Quite a few. We've got some good links with Swansea, haven't we? We had Pablo as well. I don't think we got him from there. I think we got him from Far East or something. Oh, I'm not too sure. What, Qatar or something like that. But yeah, we've had been a few, haven't they? Gary Monk been as manager. There's quite a few links between us and Swansea, to be fair. Easy says, Pirro is a natural born goal scorer. I would rather Pirro because of Farke's possession style. We need to give Swansea something to fear. Yeah. I mean, it's one of them as well, mate. It's hard because if you're a defender, the attributes of Joseph probably get you working harder as a defender. You know, you're constantly looking over because he can run in behind, he can drop deep, he can stretch you. As a defender, you know, if Piro's off it, you've probably got an easier game than you have with Joseph. If Joseph's off it, he's still going to outwork the defenders, isn't he? But I think in this game in particular, Easy, and everybody else in chat, we know some things are just inevitable. And I think, maybe chat can correct me if I'm wrong, I'm sure Piro scored in both games last season, home and away against Swansea. But it's just one of them stories, isn't it? You know for a fact, if you're a Swansea fan, you're just expecting Piro to have a top game. And I know whether he starts a game or he comes off bench for 25 minutes, Piro will score tomorrow. It's just a question of how many. Is it a winning goal? You know, does it stretch his lead? We don't know how the game's going to develop, how the game's going to go. Obviously, we just all make his predictions and stuff like that. But in terms of Piro scoring, it's inevitable most weeks. This one, you'd have to. That's another reason why I start him Easy. You know, he's an actual goal scorer. The defenders, I think, would have a harder job with Joseph because of his attributes, like I say. But you know, those defenders aren't daft. You know, I don't know who's in that defence now. I think they definitely played with Piro when he was there. I can't remember one of centre-backs' names. Let me have a look. See what he's called. Can't find him. Cabango, that's it. That's Cabango. I'm sure he'll have been there when Piro were there. Sure he will have done. Another Welsh player, but yeah, they'll all know about Piro. You know, most of that team were there, and they'll all know what his attributes are. They'll all know what he can bring. They'll also know he's a deadly finisher. So for all them reasons, I do feel like he needs more than. Yeah, that's what I'm on about, mate. Yeah, Ben Cabango. I just feel like for those reasons, I'll go against what I normally say, and I do think Piro's best one for this game. For those reasons, he needs to be on pitch for longer than 25 minutes. Maybe I'll have a different version for the home game against Luton, but we'll see how he goes. But yeah, I just want to see Piro do more in the minutes he's on, because like I say, he has brilliant moments, comes up with that goal. It's inevitable, like I keep saying, but I just want to see more in between the goals. Who would have thought Piro started his career as left back? Yeah, it's mental, that, mate, isn't it? It's mental. Maybe Firpo could end up being a striker then, mate, because Firpo's sort of doing the same thing, innit? And we in there, yeah, we can chat about it when we get there. What's he said? If I missed that. If Farke gets promotion, I still think question marks will be asked of him in the Premier. Yeah, of course it will, mate. Of course will be asked of him. 100% they'll be asked of him. But like Danny says, we'll wait till we get there and we'll see. I still think, like I say, mate, I just think in general you deserve a shot. When you've done well at something, you deserve it to be rewarded. But, you know, Easy said it before to me, you know, they'll be ruthless, and if they don't think he's good enough, you know, there's no to say they won't pull a plug. You know, we've seen it happen before. We've seen teams get promotions and the managers leave for disagreements on the vision or what's happening next. And, you know, you can't ever say, you know, anything's not possible in football. We've seen more stranger things happen than Farke winning this league and getting sacked before we kick a ball in Premier League. I just think he'll definitely get given a go. I feel like, you know, the shuffle in the back room, you know, the sorting stuff out when it comes to the people in the background in terms of transfers and things like that. A few people leaving, a few people moving around and bringing people in, and I think, you know, that this restructure that's going on now is only going to aid and help Farke going forward. And I feel like, you know, he's a valuable member of that team, and he's the man they want to drive forward into Premier League. And like I say, we'll see, won't we? He'll be on a short leash. We'll see where we are this time next year after a few months of Premier League season, because like I say, I believe we will be there. When it comes to Meslier, I just want to touch on Meslier. I feel like this is going to be another game where, if I'm honest, I'll say my prediction. I think it's with 2-0 Leeds. Like I said, they don't score many. I think Meslier is going to have a really easy game in this one. I don't see them putting much pressure on him. I know they're a possession-based side, but in my opinion, the way I see the game going is we play to our strengths, which is keeping the ball. And I think Meslier doesn't get tested. And I just wanted to sort of get your guys' thoughts on how you feel about Meslier at the minute. Obviously, he's got a lot of clean sheets, and I know, touching on Premier League, I'm sure most of us would agree. You know, we don't really want to see him as a starter for Leeds next season. Do we see an improvement in Meslier since the Sunderland game, or do we all sort of agree that the clean sheets are more of a collective and not really him? Because when you look at since that Sunderland game, he's been pretty sound, and that's mainly down to the 10 outfield players in front of him for me. But obviously on paper it looks good. I know you can delve into personal stats, and I don't know his way down pecking order in terms of the shots that he's facing, of him keeping them out. But yeah, I just wanted to sort of see what you guys thought in chat on Melia. Do you think the guys are doing a really good job of keeping the ball away from him, holding the ball? Like I say, holding the ball, and the way we play is a really good form of defence. While ever you've got that ball, they can't have it, they can't shoot. I feel like we're really protecting Melia at the minute. And while ever he's not, having much to do, that's granted, but clean sheets will build confidence. And if he's going into most games and only having a couple of shots faced, if that, I mean, he had a period of time, didn't he, in the last few weeks where I think we went 4 games, he only had 2 or 3 shots on him, and that were all in one game. And I feel like even though it might not just be on him, it's definitely going to build some confidence there, 100%. And if we get promoted, Millier can't still be our number one, surely. No, I agree with that one. See, I do think Farker stays, but I would assume goalkeeper, striker, and a 10 are the 3 absolute musts, like 100% absolute must for me. Them 3 are the biggest ones. And obviously there'll be a question mark at left back with not knowing what Firpo's doing. By the looks of the backroom staff leaving and moving around, I think they're backing him. Yeah, that's how I see it, Danny. That's exactly how I see it, mate. I see, and he's a massive part of that, and it's all been designed and sort of moulded into whatever model they want going forward. And there'll be short, medium, and long-term goals within that. And I do believe that Farker's going to be spearheading all that, mate. I really do. Danny says we have played better without much of the ball. Maybe he goes with that. Yeah, I'd like to have seen that. I would love us to adopt them tactics. And there's a chance, they could outball us, sort of say, they're a possession-based side. They always have been. So 100%, they could easily have a lot of ball, could Swansea. I would love to see us be a little bit more like that, to be fair, in away games, because we had a lot of ball at Millwall, we had a lot of ball at Bristol, did not with it. Maybe it'd be a surprising tactic to change it up a little bit. And see what we're like if we sort of sit back a bit, and let them have a bit of ball. And like you say, we've got the pace, haven't we, with Dan James, Nonto, maybe Solomon, Aronson. We've got some pace. If you went with Joseph up top, and you could try and spring some counters on them, and we've seen the games last season, teams can't live with us. So yeah, it'd be interesting to see, Danny. But I do think we'll just play our game, which will be 65-70% of ball. I expect Leeds to have. Farker was given the job to get us promoted because of his record in the Championship. Logic says the 49ers will follow the same blueprint next season with a manager. We've checked right at the top level. Yeah, maybe, mate. Maybe. See what Mourinho's up to, But no, it's you just never know. I just think he will get given that shot, and I'm sure you think he probably will be. Chances a lot of averages say if he wins the league, he's probably going to keep his job. But I can't disagree with you, mate. I can't. It's their money. It's their project. If they believe he's the right man, they'll keep him. If they don't, then they'll definitely pull the plug. I do think they'll be ruthless. You can see a lot of these players have had sentimental value with, your Aylins and people like and your Coopers. If it's time to go, it's time to go. And I think we'll see that with Bamford this year as well. So yeah, it's one of them, mate. I can't disagree with you. It could quite possibly. Melie is capable of back-to-back howlers. Our defence is saving him. I agree. Melie is a top goalkeeper, in my opinion. Wow. That is a statement, that, mate. And righteous one. Is he bollocks a top goalkeeper? He's got Jeremy Beadle hands. Oh, that's a quality comment. Caesar's TV. See Melie as a weak link. Can't be first choice keeper going into the season. Nah, definitely not. What do you base that on, Easy? What do you base in being a top goalkeeper, in your opinion? Top keeper now, top keeper going forward? You see him having a good career at Leeds, beyond Leeds? Because for me, I thought he had really high ceiling. I mean, that first game against Arsenal, I think everyone who remembers that game thought, wow, his distribution was unbelievable. He was picking balls out. He was picking, wing backs out. Lovely balls out to left and right. And he looked so comfortable for such a young lad. I don't know if that was just, I had no fear. They were young, against Arsenal. It was what it was. I do feel like after, a couple of seasons, it really fell away. I don't know if it's a lack of confidence. that last year and a half in Premier League were brutal. Not down to him, really, down to Jesse Marsh, the players, everything. But when you concede him, him in between 3 and 6 goals a game, pretty much every week, when Bielsa got sacked, it was shocking when it were like 4-0. You know, before we kicked the ball, you knew you were losing at least 4-0 for that, like, you know, last month or so. Brutal. And like I say, whether it's his fault or not, just like we're keeping clean sheets this season, you can breed confidence. You can also lack confidence from just turning around and picking ball up out your net. Even if you lose 5-0 and there's no we could have done for all 5, which there were some games like that. You know, I ain't saying he meant to howler all the time. There were a lot of games where he couldn't do no, but it's so demoralising, I assume, for a goalkeeper in Premier League to literally be conceding 4-5s every game, 6s, and turning around and just picking ball up out your net. Most of the time you're touching ball, just doing that, you know. I don't know if that's the reason why he's fallen off, or if he just never was as good as what we expected. But let's be fair, we thought maybe 3 years ago we had a 30 million, 40 million pound keeper in making, you know, and I think now, mate, we'll be lucky to get him between 10 and 15 for him now. And that's just I think that's just based on him potentially still having a good ceiling beyond Leeds United. And I feel like now it's just a bit like Bamford. Sometimes you just come to the end of the road, and as hard as it is, sometimes if you love someone, you just got to let them go. And I think it might be like with Mez, you know, no hard feelings. He's a really nice bloke. You don't ever hear about anything at training ground, you know, going wrong. You never hear anything bad about Millie in background, and that's credit to him. Seems a really sound lad. But yeah, for me, it's probably just time to go end of the season. But I'll back him while he's here, and I hope he has a really good season and, you know, prove us wrong. All I ever want, if anyone, you know, in a Leeds shirt, I'll always support him. If there's anyone at all who I'm not, you know, they're not flavoured at mum for me and they're not on my Christmas card list, it's not against them personally, and I hope to God they prove me wrong. And there's only a couple now, and it's, you know, it is Meslier and it's Bamford, and they're the two who put the bloody fear of life in me. And Meslier, we've just got to go with it because he starts every game. Bamford, luckily, you know, he doesn't touch grass much anymore. But Meslier, I'll back him, and, you know, as a fan base, we need to back him. We don't need, you know, fans at games who in an iron every time he comes for a try to catch a ball, every time he comes to punch a ball. But yeah, you know, he'll do all right. He's okay in this league, mate. I feel like individually his stats are always low down, and when you look at the individual goalkeepers of the league, he's way down there. I mean, we finished third last season, and I think his stats personally were down in 16th spot. I think it was 16th or 17th, which is ridiculous, you know. If he raises those levels and gets his personal stats into that like top 5 where Leeds were and are this season, if he gets his stats up to that level, you probably find a few more points getting won, and, you know, we might not even be in championship this season. So Melly is allergic to Sphere Club shakes. Oh, that's funny. That's after the 4th pipe. Melly got more nicknames and clean sheets. Yeah. Melly was amazing for you. Yeah, well, mate, I don't know about amazing, but it were good. And I saw a massive future for him. But I just don't now. Not at Leeds anyway. People say he doesn't catch the ball. He's being told to punch. Yeah, I agree, mate. I don't think it's. I think it's only something we've noticed recently. Last, you know, probably since Farker coming, never really noticed it before. So we're probably doing a mixture of both before Farker coming. This last 12 or 18 months, it's really been picked up on that. All he does is punch. But to be fair, I can't remember many times he's sort of missed the fly-up ball and it's dropped in box or someone scored. Sometimes he don't get much on it. Sometimes he hits it quite far. It's just his style. It's what he's been told to do. That doesn't really bother me, really. My main thing with Meslier, you know, is the odd mistake that always costs us. It's not like he does a mistake and it doesn't matter. You know, with 3-0, 4-0, he makes a mistake and it tends to cost us points. And for me, he don't win many points. He don't save. Not that he should, but you don't expect him to save a penalty. You don't expect him to pull a world out. He's had a couple. He made a really good save at Limerick this season. Might have been Watford game, QPR game, tips over bar. Leicester last season. Don't get me wrong, he does make them. He isn't the worst shot stopper in the world, you know. But for me, he don't win us enough points for me. Which, you know, I'm not saying keepers should be making worldly saves and saving penalties and that. No, but it's just nice for them to do it now and again. And for me, he don't really do that. Right, just one. Yeah, I like him as well as a person. I like my postman, but if he drops my parcel, I'll tell him. Yeah, well, your postman would have to punch it to me, same as Meslier, wouldn't he? But yeah, like I say, mate, I like him. He's a good guy, but like I say, get on your way, mate, and have a good career somewhere else. I'm sort of like with Mez. Meslier had a very poor defence in the Premier League for me. Cooper and Ayling were not the Premier League class. Trouble with us Leeds fans is we write players off to us. Yeah, no, I agree with that first part, mate. Cooper and Ayling weren't, you know, they definitely fallen off. We didn't freshen the squad up as Bielsa requested, and the legs had gone, and they just couldn't keep up, could they? And like I say, he was a sitting duck in net for most of these games, so I can't disagree with that. But I do think that they're writing off players too soon. I don't agree with that, mate. I think he's had a long while now as number one. You know what I mean? He's fifth season now as number one. 3 in Premier League. Yeah, he's in his 5th season now as number one. And I just don't see an improvement. I just see a decline, and then he's sort of like plateaued now. And I don't know, to get where he needs to be a decent enough keeper in Premier League. I just feel like it's just not in him no more. I really don't think it is, mate. I think he needs a new start. We need a new start. I didn't even think he'd be here this season, mate. But like I say, he'll do us this season, mate. And if he's here, I'll support him next year. But yeah, I just think there's better out there. You know, you could get a really good, solid keeper, and you know, if you're looking right places, don't even have to cost much. I mean, Melier only cost 5 million, and obviously you're happy with Melier, and you know he got 5 years out of Melier up to press at the end of the season. He cost 5 million, so it will value one no matter what you think, I suppose. Halo hands, hologram, magic wrists. Not a lot of love for Mez. Easy, you're fighting. You're on your own with this fight for sticking up for Mez. Like, I do love it though. We'd have gone up. Yeah, I think so, mate. Yeah, I think so. He could have been a confidence pro. 100%. That's what I'm getting at, mate. 100%. 100%. Last season, KG and Connor pointed out he often let the first shot. Mate, I notice that all the time. Not so much this season. Last season, pretty much every first shot went in. That wasn't always his fault. It wasn't. But like I say about, you know, your keeper winning your points, even if it's a really good shot, a worldy goal, it'd be nice for him, you know, to pull out that first save and just calm everyone down. But it tended to be a bang on money there on the KG used to say it every single game. And it's right. Pretty much every game the first shot went in last season, which is brutal. Whether it's his fault or not, you know, like I say, I just want him to keep him out, really. I think he's got 2 years left in his contract anyway, kind of this season. Yeah. So really, they need to be looking at getting rid of him the end of the season for me before, you know, he's down to that 1 year. So, easy. What has Melier done wrong since we got relegated? Mate, we finished 3rd last season. Got to playoff finals, you know. We're doing well this season and we'll go up this season. So, it's been way better than it did in Premier League, isn't it? You know what I mean? When we're conceding 5s and 6s, like I say earlier. But he hasn't improved. And, you know, obviously I don't need to mention the Sunderland game. You know about the Sunderland game. But like we just said then about last season, he didn't win as many points. They're only the Leicester game where he pulled anything out, really, and that saved us. You know, we won that game 1-0 away from home at King Power. Brilliant. And, you know, saved us there with a header right at the death and saved us those extra points there. And I just don't think he does it enough. But, yeah, he has got a howler in him. He hasn't done howlers, you know, many times since we've come down, but when he has, it's cost us points. And yeah, I just feel like he's just not kicked on, mate. I just feel like he's not kicked on. He's all right for now, like I say, but when we go up to the next level, I don't think he can raise his game again. You know, I don't. That's what I'm like, mate. I just don't think he'll kick on. I think if we win league this season, we state championship, fine, he'll be all right again, you know, but there is that level we go up with in Premier League, and I just don't think he's the keeper I want to see. And if I'm honest, mate, I'm not on my own on that, you know. But like I say, I don't want to diss him. I just wanted to sort of touch on it because he's getting a lot of clean sheets. He's going to get a lot of clean sheets this season. I just wanted to sort of get everyone's opinion on, you know, whether they feel like it's him sort of doing that, because you know your confidence breeds that confidence through your team. Does a really good keeper, a dominant keeper, someone who comes out and you know, shouts and organises and clears ball or catches balls, even though he doesn't. And I just don't feel like he's got that. And I feel like a lot of it is, you know, he's got Pascal, who's a silent leader, Rodon, fantastic, you know, warrior outside of him. And I feel like they're the ones that instill that confidence throughout the team rather than the goalkeeper. Is his last line of defence. And I just feel like he's lucky that we've got a really good defence, mate. Remember how many fans wanted Darlow? Where are they now? Yeah, I mean, it's mad though, because I assumed he would come in as number one, but now that just seems ridiculous to look at that now, you know. Kinnear and Orta ruined Mez by failing to put enough quality in front of him. They're claiming when he's got. Yeah, bang on that, mate. Bang on. Bang on. He's never had anyone pushing him, mate. He's never had a really good, experienced player behind him, guiding him, you know. Had Robles for a little bit. I don't think he was right man for it, you know. They've got Darlow now. I just don't know. I just don't know what it is with him, mate. I just feel like it's just time to move on, mate. But yeah, you're right with that comment, mate. I fully agree with that. Andy Rowe, any fan would be happy with their team in the playoffs, but not Leeds fans. No, we always want more, don't we, mate? Always want more. Never happy. He won us a game against Liverpool. He was immense in that game. Yeah, that was a while ago, wasn't it, Paul? Easy. We're at a point where people are only confident if the ball goes nowhere near. Yeah, no, 100%. I agree, my mate. I agree, righteous one. That first in the Premier was good. Over 2 seasons, he was poor. And last year was poor and average at best. Yeah, that's it. Like I say, even if he's not having a bad game and making howlers, he ain't having a good game either. I can't remember last time I watched a game and said, wow, Mez has had a good game. Like Daniel said then, Liverpool, what was that, 2 years ago? You know, I cannot remember the last time Melier got man at match. Melier, you walked away and said, Melier's had a good one. I can't remember. Yeah, he's had a clean sheet and stuff, but like I say, I can't remember the last time I walked away and thought, wow, Mez had a good game today. Just doesn't happen. Fans said the same about similar to Strowick, mate. Strowick's an absolute Rolls Royce. It's not something I've ever said. Darling, fairness, he's getting good. Yeah, he is. He is. Apparently, Wales is doing really well. I can't say I watch much international football at all, especially not the Welsh stuff. But yeah, good for him. It's only good for Leeds again, isn't it? You know, I want a confident, happy Kyle Darlow because maybe that will push Mez. Maybe it'll give Farker something to think about. I wouldn't have thought so. But it's only good. Anyone doing well within our squad, you know, it's great news, isn't it? Really, let's be fair. And I could get good reports playing for Wales. Yeah, to be fair. So yeah, Swansea Sunday. Is it going to be tight? What's chat think? Tight game? I think 2-0, dominant, confident performance from the boys. 3 points come back to Ellen Road, and then we have a different assignment on Wednesday night. A game I'm going to and thoroughly looking forward to. We're Luton, but yeah, the Swansea game. Danny thinks it'll be tight. You think it'll be tight most weeks, Danny, don't you? You're expecting 1-0 or 2-1. What are you saying? And yeah, like I say, I expect Pirro to start. The one thing for me is, what's this, Andy? What are you saying? The ironic thing is Melly had 19 clean sheets last year and 1 player of the league. Mate, did he get in team at season, which was mad when you actually looked at his stats. He was down in 17 for personal stats. It was crazy. But yeah, so Swansea game, I expect us to line up with Mez. Fairport left back is out, so it won't be him, unfortunately. But I know Byram will do a solid job. So yeah, Byram will fill in for Fairport left back. Unfortunately, we won't see Schmidt, which I touched on at the beginning, which I'm gutted about. It would have been nice to see Schmidt, even though I don't think he'd play left back, to be honest. But so yeah, it'll be Mez, Byram, Strauch, Rodon, Bogle. I know Easy mentioned maybe Gilavogi might get shouted instead of Tanaka, but that won't happen. So it's going to be Tanaka and Rothwell. Hopefully we see the same Rothwell we've seen so far this season. Absolutely love that guy. Such a good player. Aronson in 10. I know he's played for America, but he's had that extra day. It would have been a Sunday, so I don't think there's any cause for concern there. And I think he'll go Nonto on right and Solomon at left. And I think he'll play Pirro up front. I'd love to see Dan James on, especially if he goes with Pirro. I know you got Aronson doing press and that, but I really want to see Dan James. I mean, his final ball at the minute, it's gone up. It's gone up levels from where it was a few years ago. He's so good as Dan James. You know how many times he used to say as Leeds fans, you know, he's too quick for his own good. In those final moments, he can't slow his mind down and pick a pass out. For me now, he's phenomenal at this level. A bit like Farker, we'll decide what he's like. You know, we'll see maybe next season what he's like in Premier League. But what a player! And I've always thought kind of had Dan James as a bit of a super sub in my head. I think what a player to bring on with 30 minutes left, 20 minutes left. What a player! But he's so good. He should be starting for me. He's so good. And you know, you look at that Swansea link again. You look at that pacing behind. We create loads of chances, but they don't concede many big chances. Maybe it's a game for Dan James. You know, maybe it is. Problem with that is if it's not working and we don't have the best of games, you know, you lose the impact off at bench, because if you put Solomon on bench, you know, he isn't going to give an impact that Dan James does. But I do expect Nonto on right, and I do expect Solomon on left. But I really love Dan James, and like I say, he's unreal. He's come on so much, and I don't know if it's a level drop down, a bit like Aronson, you know, whether it's just it looks so good because he's had a drop down in quality in terms of level of what we're playing at. But tell you what, now Dan James, you know, I expect him to carry on all season. And that'll be two great years back to back, because last year they were outstanding. Just these little niggles that kept him out. Every time he sort of got into a decent run of form, he tended to get a niggle that kept him out 3 or 4 games, and then Nonto would get back in, and then it starts that cycle again of trying to battle for that shirt. I feel like if you get a fully fit Dan James and you get 35 plus games out of him, even off a bench, you're talking double figures for G&A, aren't you? Like even goals. Honestly, I love Dan James. He's so good. If we had 11 of him playing, we'd be doing something right, wouldn't we? We'd be happy with that. I'm going 2-1. Swansea 3-0 again. Win against Luton. I'm going 2-1 against Swansea, 3-0 against Luton. Yeah, the Luton one, I think we will, mate. I think it'll be a tough game, but I feel like I always tip 3-0 for every game, so it might be a tough game, yeah, but I expect a really good performance at Ellen Road. 2-1. I just don't see him scoring. I do not see him scoring. They don't score many, Danny. They don't score many. So I just don't see how they score past us. They scored 2 set pieces this season, which is all right in 15 games. It's not dramatic. So I don't think that they're going to physically do us at corners or whipping balls in box from free kicks. They like to keep the ball. If we allow that, fair enough. But I just don't see him getting many chances. I mean, I tipped us to absolutely pag a Millwall, what bit me on the arse. I don't expect us to absolutely, wipe the floor with these. I don't, but I don't expect them to score. If they do, it's going to be minimal chances, and they're going to have a good conversion rate to get out of us, I think, even though they are at home. The fact that at home, I hope they do play a bit more on the front foot, because as a paying fan going to watch your home side, home team club, it's what you expect. You should never be sitting back against Leeds, although that is the blueprint to play against Leeds, whether you're at home or away. Is you let us have the ball, you try and compact that box, don't let us have many chances, keep it 0-0, 1-0, even if you're losing 1-0 for as long as you can. Keep yourself in that game, and you've always got a chance on a counter, I suppose, and stuff like that. But I just feel like they won't score, mate. I feel like it'll be a 2-0 win, and it'll just be, hopefully it's one of them games again when it's a boring performance. Like everyone says, I'm bored. Good. I hope I'm bored Sunday and we get the 3 points, because I couldn't care less. Do I want to be entertained at home a bit more? Yeah, I do. Do I want to be entertained Sunday at Swansea Stadium? I couldn't give a shit. Just give me 3 points, honestly. Could not give a shit. I feel Nonto and Aronson are slightly wasteful, creating clinical chances for Pirro. Yeah. I mean, to be fair, I think Nonto and Aronson, which it's mad. It must be because of the sheer volume we do. We have the chances we do have. Like I say, we are very, very wasteful with them. But I'm sure, Joe Wayman earlier, one of the big hitters anyway, said that Nonto and Aronson, I think they're 1 and 2 in league, for chances created on XG that the sides missed. You know what I mean? Like created chances that are being missed. I'm sure they're right up there. But I do feel like Pirro tends to score the chances he gets. So there's definitely something in that, in terms of, it's not like Pirro doesn't get 4 chances a game, does he? He doesn't tend to have 3, 4, 5 shots at goal. He tends to get 1 or 2, and he tends to score. So I don't think we're creating that many chances. We get a lot of half chances, a lot of block shots, in their box. And like I say, in a game like this, as much as I love Joseph, I want Pirro to be on pitch longer than 20 minutes. So yeah, it's the fox in the box. He needs to be playing maybe 65, 70 minutes before they change it up. Dan James is your modern pro, 100%. 100%. I do hope he can make that step up to Premier League. He deserves it. He really deserves to not just be a championship player. The attributes he's got, pace will always benefit any side, and he's got it in abundance. I always thought if he had no pace, he'd be a pretty average footballer. I actually believe that's not the case no more. I do feel like he's adapted. I feel like Farker needs to get a lot of credit. Oh, pardon me. His game's improved tenfold for me as Dan James. It's really improved. Like I say, his decision making, his delivery. He can whip it in from running down wing. He can cut back inside and float a lovely ball on his left at back post. I feel like he's really improved. Dan James' finishing's really good. The way he hits the ball, it's really true. And a lot of that's got to come down to Farker, because he's not old, but he's definitely not young. He's had a fair few years as a pro at some top sides like Scum and some big sides. And let's be fair, he's never really looked the part to what he is now, and a lot of that's got to go down to Farker. You've got to give him credit for improving certain players. You really have. I've gone 2-1 because of our away form. Yeah. I don't think we'll concede. I think, if anything, if there's a goal in it, I think it'll be 1-0. But yeah, I'm hoping 2-0. and a pretty tidy performance. Hopefully come over with no injuries. And yeah, I'm really excited to see Byron play because I'm a big Byron fan, and I really like it when he gets a shot. And he's only going to get a shot really through injuries. He's not, or seeing a game out. So yeah, he's not going to give you as much down that left hand side. That's my worry with Solomon playing. You see, I think Solomon will play. I'd rather see Dan James play. We've obviously probably not playing up left because I just feel like you're not going to get the attacking threat as much from Byron, although he gives it a go. He does get down there. He's not, he's not lazy by any means. He's not the quickest, but he does offer something. But he ain't going to give you that overlap and underlap like Firpo does. He ain't going to give you that first time cross on left foot because he ain't left foot. He's always going to look to cut back inside. But yeah, I love Byron, and he gives you a threat from set pieces. Really good in air, so he's an asset to have if you play it right way. And I expect Bogle to get a lot more at ball down that right hand side. I think Bogle and either James or none, whoever plays down right, I expect them to have more of the ball. A bit like last season when we had Archie Grant right, we tended to play more down left with Firpo because it's just natural width. I feel like we'll go down the right a lot more this game than we will down the left. But yeah, if Solomon plays, he's going to stand out like a sore thumb if he's playing badly. We're not having that classy Firpo playing alongside him. You just got that steady Eddie and in a Biden, who I do love for that reason. But if Solomon doesn't play well, and it's going to stand out. And that last home game when Byron got booked, and then he got two more fouls after booking, and I was like, oh, he's going to get ready against QPR. And a lot of that was down to Solomon not doing his work, coming back, and helping Byron out, and he was isolated a couple of times against two players. So he needs to do that work for me. Yeah, he's a bit of a quality player, or you want him to be a better player, granted, but he's got to do the hard work as well, which Ramazani does, which Somerville did last season, which Nono does, Dan James does. If Solomon plays, he really needs to dig in there and help Byron out back, and Byron will give it a go helping up top. But for me, it might be a game where he's got to get on that left just to give a bit more, because if Solomon in on it, it's going to stand out with having Byron next to him. But we'll see how it goes. Dan James had a good spell. I mean, he scored. Yeah, he did, mate. He did all right, to be fair. He didn't do too bad, mate. Like I say, it'd be nice for him to get back up there with Leeds, wouldn't it, and show that he's a Premier League player. A lot of people have stated he isn't a Premier League player. Me as well in past. I think he is now. Albeit maybe not a starter, I don't know. You'd like to think we'll fill a squad out a lot better when we go up. But yeah, I hope he can do it at Leeds. Evening all, a bit late. I'll Leeds that way, MOT. Yeah, it's a bit late, mate. I'll wait for the voice note again, lol. Yeah, what would Tanaka be like in the 10? I think he'd be outstanding, and I wouldn't rule out seeing that at some point. It's going to be really interesting, isn't it? I mean, he's been asked to do more of the defensive work, with Rothwell doing a bit more of the attacking work. Out of the two, I think when eventually Ampadu gets back inside, which I think will happen, and I'm not going to touch it too much, we speak about it a lot, I think that will happen at some point. You're going to naturally see Tanaka play a bit further forward then, because I think out of the two, Ampadu is more defensive. I think Tanaka can play 6, 8, 10. I think he can play anywhere in that midfield. I think he's that good. I feel like we've got a player in his hands now who's at that level above. We need to be in Premier League to keep players like that. I think he's one of them, mate. He's outstanding. I don't even know what his best position is yet, which is exciting. I think he's one of them who's got, the percentage in value of what we'll sell him on for one day, because in this day and age, we're going to have to be a very good side, aren't we, for a long period of time to keep players like that. And, in football these days, they don't tend to stay around for 10 years plus to them. So, if he does move on, or when he does, you're talking for me, you're 35, 40. I think he is that good. I think he is absolutely outstanding. And we're really lucky. We do find some gems from time to time. I think we've got some really good players in this side. And when I look at the step up to Premier League, I'm really excited to see Tanaka. Really excited. We'll get through this season, we will. And, when you look at going up next season, Tanaka, Strauch, you want to see your Nonto and your Ramazanis. I mean, I'm so excited for Tanaka and Strauch. They're the two I look at them two and I think they are a class above. Like, we've got us flair players. I think Ramazani is going to be outstanding. I think Ramazani, clip this up. I think Ramazani will be world class, mate. I just see so much in him. A bit like when we got Rafinha, you could see pretty much straight away with Rafinha oh, we've got a player. It's harder to say that with Ramazani because of the level we're playing at. Rafinha were doing it in Premier League, weren't he, against Premier League left backs. So you can see pretty quickly with Ramazani, we're down a level. So you've got to sort of, maybe temper your expectations there. But for me, I can't. I think Ramazani will be world class. But when I look at Pascal and Tanaka, I think there are two real gems, and I know they're not attacking flair players, which they tend to get, the most limelight. But I look at them two and I just think Rolls Royce in the pair of them. I think Strauch, you got to think, didn't play much for us in Championship. Didn't play much for us at all. And then we got promoted for first game against away at Liverpool, and he's starting for Cooper, captain, who were injured, and he sort of never looked back. He sort of played that role. He's filled in at left back when we didn't have a left back, and I feel like a bit like Meslier, it didn't do much for his confidence. And I feel now he's grown into that role now, and I genuinely feel now he's ready for Premier League now, Strauch, and I think you'll see an absolute monster of a player in that league, and I expect Leeds to go up this time and stay up. I expect Strauch to eventually be our captain. I see Strauch as a future captain, permanent captain, and I do think Strauch will be around for a long time. I expect him to play international football, and him and Tanaka, I just love him, absolutely love him. I think they're so good. Ayo, who's that? Ramazani, Strauch are the three players that will definitely start the Premier League. Yeah, I think we can all agree on that one, mate. They're the three. When you look at the side and go, oh, I don't fancy him. They're the three for me that are Premier League players, 100%. They're the first three names on team sheet for me every week now and in Premier League. No two ways about it. And yes, Andy, but he refused a new contract. Who's that we need to get? The Premier League and not be a selling club. Last week, forget Ramazani. Play for Man U. Ramazani. Did Ramazani play for Man U? Oh, will Firpo hang around if we get back in the Prem? Yeah, it depends where we are in January, doesn't it? Because I think he can start talking to clubs in January and start organising like a pre-contract with them. And we all know Betis want him. We all know, he liked being at Betis, his former club. So it depends, doesn't it? I feel like, he's got the best song. And now I think we're singing at Ellen Road. What a change around. I don't think many people have had a turnaround like Firpo was. For me, we need to offer him a new contract and keep him around. But we need to get a left back regardless. I mean, if Firpo goes, you argue we need to get two. I think Byram should get another extension, even though we're in Prem, but I won't want to see him playing many minutes, even less than he plays now, to be fair. But if Firpo stays, we need to go get another left back who starts and Firpo battles him for that shirt. If Firpo leaves, we need to go get two left backs. And Leeds don't buy many left backs, do we? We don't. I mean, we did, me and Dan, Boss Nass from Seasides TV, go check the video out. We did a video last night of the best combined 11 of the last 20 years. So if anyone in chat, anyone watching now or future hasn't seen that video, go back to yesterday's video and watch it. I'll spoiler alert if you didn't see it. We got Stuart Dallas at left back, and I know we've had like Alioski, Firpo now, Charlie Taylor. We've had some left backs, but when you look at over the last 20 years and you think for 3 of them years we've been a Premier League club, Stuart Dallas is playing our position at left back. I know we're brilliant. I love Stuart Dallas, one of my favourite players. Goes to show, we don't. There's some positions we just haven't added, sufficient quality to, and I think left back's been massively overlooked for years. So whether we keep Firpo or not, we really need to strengthen in that area for me. And like I say, hopefully Firpo stays with us, and we just add around him, and we have really two quality players vying for that shirt. Because for me, some will say Firpo can't do it in Premier League. Some will say that, and there's evidence to back that up. For me, the way he's going now, the trajectory of how he's playing, I don't see him going up there and just falling off a cliff. I just don't see it. I feel like he's playing with confidence. The fans love him. I just feel like, we didn't think there were a player there. We've seen that player now, albeit at a lower level. Same with Dan James. I just can't see him climbing that mountain again. Top is jumping off. I feel like the way the careers are going, it's only going one way, and I feel like there'll be an asset to us in the Premier League, even though that quality is higher. It would just be good to have really stiff competition for people like that as well. I would keep Rothwell and Gallivog in the Premier League for experience. Yeah, I hope they do. I'd love them to make the Rothwell transfer permanent, and he'd know if he did sign for Leeds, it'd be a bench option, especially in Premier League, because he's a bench option now if it weren't for injuries, let's be fair. But yeah, I'd love to. And Gallivog, obviously, he's only on a contract till the end of the year. You can't just keep losing your experienced players year in, year out, can you? Which is what we've done for the last couple of years now. And yeah, 100%. I don't see him getting Rothwell. I feel like I just don't see us making that permanent. Not for a bench option. I think Rothwell will probably look at getting a starting shirt in Championship next season, if and when we do go up. But I'd love us to get him. I don't think it'd be much money. Gilavogi, say you just give him same terms as this year, don't you? And if he's happy to play that role, it all depends on it. Because if they shine and keep doing what they're doing now, the bits that Gilavogi's playing, and obviously the minutes Rothwell's getting, they're both going to stand out. And obviously there'll be teams at Championship, top end Championship teams would have them both. So it all depends on what offers they get, I suppose. But for me as a Leeds fan, 100%, I'd be trying to keep the majority of this side together. Lose a couple, add a couple of really quality players. Like I say, keeper gone, Bamford gone. Get another 10 in, 10 striker, goalkeeper, left back, maybe a bit more covered at right back as well. Bring someone else in to challenge Bogle. Don't need any more midfielders, don't need any more wingers if you don't lose any. For me, you keep it at that. To be fair, Solomon goes on loan, you bring another winger in, don't you, on left, and you go with that. And maybe 4, and then a couple of fillers just to bulk that squad out. Because we'll lose some at youngsters as well coming through, won't we? But yeah, Ramazani coming through Scum Academy, but refused to sign a new contract. Good lad, I like him even more now. Yeah, I forgot about that, mate. He did actually. I read that somewhere. I don't know why that. I didn't realise when you said that, but yeah, didn't he? Good lad. Can't believe Villa looking at signing Llorente. It's crazy, mate. Crazy. He's got the best agent in football, I think, if he gets to move to Roma, then to Villa. Mental. Leaf Davis and Bogus, Leeds reject. Both smashing it. Yeah, mate, it's one of them, sometimes players just develop better somewhere else, Both young lads, when we had them, fell into that category, though, didn't they, where they were ready for first-team football, and we were a Premier League side. Bogus was very young. Leif Davis, he had his chance. He had a few chances, sorry, limited, but he had a couple of. Obviously, you can see Marcelo Bielsa liked him on bench quite a bit. He got a few games under Bielsa, as a lot of young kids did. McCalmont and Jack Clough, loads, weren't we? Who were always on benches. Bench were like an under 18s bench sometimes, under 21s bench. So, but yeah, sometimes you just can't see how you can see him be talented and stuff, but the timing, it's timing. It's not just talent, it's timing. And like you say, we were in Premier League. I mean, if we never hit Premier League in those, and we've been in Championship for last 19, 20 years, say with no Premier League years in there, you might find these players are still at Leeds now, just timing. When you're in Premier League in Leeds United, you can't be taking risks, especially, we finished 9th, yeah, we did, and then years after we're struggling with relegation before ultimately being relegated. You can't take risks on some of these kids, unfortunately. And yeah, Bogus, I've heard Celtic are looking at him, he's done really well at LA, Los Angeles. I don't think it's Galaxy. It's not of a team there. LAFC, is it? Is it close to 30 GNA, 20 goals, 10 assists? I think I read the other day. Outstanding. You could see they were a player there at Leeds. And obviously, Leif Davis carries on like this. He'll get an international call at water. So fair play to him. Like I say, sometimes these players just go on and do really good stuff, even if I see it happening. But yeah, brilliant. I think Rothwell is invested in Leeds and would fancy his chance of force away in the team. Well, every footballer should be like that easy, shouldn't they? They should all back themselves. Obviously, he's got in there now for just out of sheer fortune, really, with injuries. But yeah, I think the way he plays football, you can see he's an hungry football. He backs himself. I mean, he's been at some good clubs. He's had a good career. I just feel like he weren't a star at Southampton. It's going to be interesting what happens when Ampadu comes back for me, because I think he loses his spot being the lone player. I feel like he will, and then we'll see where his head's at. If Ampadu comes back in and Rothwell's only getting scarcely getting minutes, I don't think he'll make that step up with us. If he can challenge and vie for that spot and still get many games where he plays, which he should do, even if Ampadu comes back in and does well with the games we play, we have with 3 games in 6 to 7 days quite frequently in this league. With the way he's playing, he's done nothing to deserve being dropped. He should demand that, really, that he gets minutes. And for me, that's where it teeters with him. If he gets to the end of the season, he's totally lost his place and he's not getting no minutes, I don't see him staying, because he'll lose faith in manager, won't he? But yeah, if he carries on as he is now and carries on with the amount of games he's playing and the way he's playing, that'll be the test. If he keeps amping about that side, he'll fancy his chances of maybe earning a contract here. And like I say, some of these players I'm talking about now are never going to get a better side than Leeds. Like Rothwell, whether we keep, if we keep him or not, he ain't going to go to a better side than Leeds now. Leeds, like Farker as a manager, Leeds is the pinnacle, I think, now of their careers. I don't think Farker will leave Leeds to go and get a better job. I think he leaves Leeds ultimately when he gets sacked, whether that's 6 months, 12 months, 4 years. and then he goes to a side less, just like Rothwell. You know, I don't see him ever getting a side better than Leeds now. So it's in his best interest really to try and earn that contract. And we do like to, you know, even though we didn't get Ben White, we got him on loan. We tried to sign him, even when there's not an obligation. And there were murmurs of Jay Dante potentially looking at trying to get him, but that was never going to happen. We didn't fancy him when he went in on loan. And obviously Joe Rodon. You know, so we do these loan players we get in. Fans fall in love with them. Fans like them. We do test his arm, and you know we do try his arm on that and try and bring him in. So, you know, potentially, mate, who knows? I don't think personally it'll happen, but I'd love to see him in the Leeds shirt beyond this year, mate, 100%. Andy Rowe, if Leeds get promotion, Leeds need your Strachan's, Giles, Bremner's, Charlton, Bobby Collins, Batters, etc. Yeah, we do, mate. There's some absolute legends in there. We need some lads with passion, don't we? We need a side who, regardless of who we're playing, don't get. I don't want it to be we go up and we give too much respect to these big sides. You know, I loved it when we went up that first time with Bielsa, where we didn't give a shit who we played. We just went for it. We played our stuff. You know, we need, you know, they're legends, they're icons, they're world class players, you know, in their own right, and they did so much for our club. And those kind of players, mate, in this day and age, wouldn't be cheap players, would they? I mean, some of those players there, mate, would be multi-million-pound signings, wouldn't they? If money were converted to modern day football. But yeah, those sort of legends need to inspire our lot and, you know, really push us in now to be an established Premier League team, not just don't want to end up just being a Burnley, a Sheffield United. Don't want to be up down. We don't need that. You know, we're better than that. We're bigger than that. And let's hope this time we've got a manager, an ownership group, a bunch of players, a fan base, and we're going to go up, unite as one. And it might not be as good as the Bielsa days. It might not be as attractive, but, you know, we go up there and as one, we establish ourselves. And I think as Leeds fans, we've maybe just got to realise, you know, a 15th place in a bad finish next season, you know, a 17th place in a bad finish next season. You know, we probably shot ourselves in foot finishing 9th for first season with Bielsa, because it raises expectations beyond belief. And you're not about dusting your passport off for year after. And, you know, really, it needs to just be, you know, cement your spot in that league for another season. You know, go up a place or two year after that, and then start looking for that, you know, that around that 10th spot. And it's going to be really hard to break into European spots and stuff. But yeah, it's where we want to be ultimately. And we've had ownership in past. Well, we've got a 5-year plan. We're going to be in Europe and all this bullshit. You know, don't talk it, you know, unless you're going to walk it. And they didn't, unfortunately. And I quite like how silent the 49ers are. They go about the business, you know, strategically behind closed doors. You know, they're not tweeting stuff. They're not talking tripe in press. Can be annoying for content creators, I'm sure. I'll have days where, you know, I'm wanting to talk about stuff and I don't know what's going on, just like the big boys of the YouTube scene. You know, it really does their heading, not having so much information and stuff to talk about, because I just don't leak stuff. But let's be fair, that's what we want from this club. You know, we're not a laughing stock anymore. We're not a laughing stock anymore. We were a laughing stock for many years, and that starts at top and filters down for me. Right, for your last few comments. Right, mate. I'm dropping out up early for the hospital. All right, cheers for being in, Danny, mate. Have a good night, mate. And I'll text you. See you at the hospital. I'll give you a text, buddy. Speak to you soon. Andy Rowe, I'm slightly confused. Just Joe said Rodon and Strout can't head a ball. I think he means in terms of attacking. Yeah, attacking. I have to agree. Rodon isn't the best in the air at trying to score a goal, and Strout he gets a lot of goals for a centre half, but they tend to be on the floor. He's got a really good finisher, Strout, hence why he takes penalties as well. But yeah, when it comes to heading, I think famously people say he's got a 50 pence head as Strout. But yeah, in their box, but that goes for everyone. We don't ever look like scoring corner, but definitely defensively wise, they get their head and everything, don't they? But I think he means when we're attacking, mate, they just don't look like scoring from corners. Yeah, Danny got in there first. Easy. Remember when Strachan came, he was supposed to be past it, but one of our best signings history. Yeah, he was easy, yeah. Back in my early days of being a fan. Yeah, 100%. Past it, mid-30s, legs had gone, came and, you know, revolutionised that side, and sometimes that's it. And that's what I'm sort of hoping Gilavogi is this season for us, you know. Yeah, he ain't going to have the impact because he ain't going to get the minutes. But sometimes, you know, someone you think's over, someone who you think's done, they've got a lot to prove sometimes. And, you know, and Strachan were the best at that, you know. He came and absolutely was just an absolute worldly player for us. And top guy as well. Danny, we will lose more in the Premier League. 100%, mate. That's a fact. That's a fact. But yeah, it'll be fine. I don't think we should underestimate the 49ers' ambitions. That's why I think Farke will be dispatched at the end of the season. Yeah, I think their ambitions, mate, they'll be really ambitious. They will be. But I do also think the sensible approach is to just consolidate, especially next season. You know, and I think if you were to offer 49ers and Parag and all that backroom staff a 16th place boring finish next season, you know, 8-10 points above that relegation zone, whatever that may be, they'd bite your hand off. They'd bite your hand off to stay up and not be in a relegation scrap, you know, not be in that relegation zone for the majority of the season. I really do. You know, it might 36 game season, 38 game season, sorry. And we might win 10 games, 12 games, 15, 12 games all season, maybe, with a handful of draws. It's not going to be pretty. It's not going to be this season, you know, try to put runs together of, you know, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 games without a loss. It's going to be tricky in Premier League, but I think they'll be ambitious, but I do also think they'll be very cautious when we go up, and they'll, you know, just consolidating will be enough for them, I think, for first year, especially easy. And then beyond that, you know, they may look at then, oh, we need to make a change to kick on, because I don't believe Farke as the manager to get us to top 10 at Prem. I don't believe that at all. I feel like you've got to do a Villa, you've got to go out there and put money down like we did with Bielsa. You've got to go out there and get a manager that can get, you know, miracles out of your players and can bring top talents at squad by the name. And, you know, look what Villa did with Unai Emery. You know, what an appointment that was. And we were swimming in those waters with Villa, weren't we, at one point? And look where they want to look where we are now. But it is what it is. Danny, hope you're all right, mate. Yeah, I echo that, pal. Like I said, I'll give you a text. 32, so that's 33, 1989. Do we read anything into our reshuffling the background stuff? Yeah, I just read into that, Andy, that they're backing him. They're getting the ducks in a row for January to back him, even though I've said that I don't think they'll do much in January. I think Voba might go, Geldart might go, and they might replace them. Maybe loan options. I don't see him. I don't see us going out and buying anyone. We might bring a couple of loans in, but yeah, I just think it's getting the ducks in the line, mate, for backing him in January potentially. But beyond that, next season, yeah, I don't see it as, you know, shuffling stuff around to maybe get rid of Farke. I genuinely believe that the back Farke, me, I really do. He won't want a slow start next season. No, like I say, confidence, mate, and you know, you don't want to see us sat in that bottom three after 5 games, do you? And it's really hard, you know. Momentum is a good thing sometimes. If you're winning, it can be an awful thing if you're losing. And 100%, if we start slow next season, I think he's on a tight leash, mate. I do. I think if, you know, 6 games in and we haven't won a game, say, I feel like they'll definitely be looking at pulling plug. 100%. 100%, you can get caught adrift really easy in Prem. So I just don't think it'll happen. I feel like his own form, he'll be decent in Prem. And those away games, you know, it might suit us in some games, you know. At the minute, most sides sit back. We're not going to have that in Premier League. I think we might be all right, you know. I think we might be all right. I think we've got enough with a couple of really good additions. Yeah, like I say, we need to make some signings in off season 100%. You know, we need to bring in 3 or 4 decent players at a good level, and drop a few of our starters now down to the bench. But I do think I think his approach, you know, being quite defensive, being quite pragmatic, I feel like I don't expect us to be getting blown away 4s, 5s, 6s like we had when we were in Premier League last time. I feel like defensively we'll be sound, and I feel like we'll allow ourselves a chance to be in games to get that point, to get that 3 points. That's where I'm sort of at. I feel like his football, it'll be set up to nullify some of these teams. There will be teams who will blow us away, but I don't think it's going to be like we've seen before. I really don't. I only just realised what Saf meant at Manchester United said, Legs Ferguson. Yeah, man. That was Strachan's age. Is that what it was? 32, 30 when we signed in front of Leeds. Crazy, innit? Crazy age to be signing someone, you know, to do what he did was phenomenal, mate. And, you know, we said Ipswich did well getting from League One to Championship to Premier League to win Second Division, then win First Division back to back. It's pretty mental, innit? And he was a big part of that, mate. But yeah, right. I'm going to leave it at that. I did not, honestly, I expected this to be about a 20-minute video. But this is why I like doing lives, because you end up with comments and it leads you down a little alleyway and you start talking about stuff other than the Swansea. I mean, for a Swansea preview, we've probably spoke about 10 minutes in the 80 minutes I've been live. But I do love it, honestly. Andy in chat, easy. Danny, as always, I mean, top banana. There's so many more. It's been a really good show for me. This, and I really appreciate everyone getting in. I appreciate you even watching, because for me, I probably just chat shit. But thank you for listening. I really do appreciate it. It means a lot. So yeah, rather than pre-records, I do like to come on and do it live for that reason. It's so much fun. It's great for my mental health. I love talking about it. I've had a stressful week at work. It's been quite hard at work, deadlines, and trying to get a job finished that the deadline just didn't suit for. And it'll be the same next week. So I'm just glad football's back. I'm glad we can talk about it. I'm glad you guys are always here to chat with me and have discussions. And there's a lot of topics we talk about and we disagree on some stuff, and I love that. It's subjective. Everyone thought same. It'd be shite, wouldn't it? So yeah, thanks so much for all looking and watching it. Please smash a like on video and subscribe if you've not been here before, or if you have and you've not done it before. What are you doing? Please subscribe. Much appreciated. The Righteous One, thank you for being on as well. Much appreciated, mate. Thanks for all the comments. Farker was never back to Norwich, so this football needs quality to play style. Yeah, it does, mate. It does. I think he'll be back this time, and I think he'll do better. And it's his only shot. It's Farker's last shot for me at the Premier League. So he's got to make it work for me. It's his last shot. Dave LUFC is a proper Leeds YouTuber. 3-0 win easy, says. 3-0. I reckon 2-0. But yeah, we'll go with that. I love a 3-0. Thanks for the chat, Mate. Watch from the start now then. Cheers, mate. Righteous One, have you done your score prediction yet, pal? Was just making a brew. 2-0, mate. I'm going 2-0. And I think Pido scores. I think Pido starts, even though I'm a big Joseph fan. I think Pido starts this one. I think Pido scores. If he starts, I think he gets them both. I think if he starts, he gets them both. But I've got a sneaky feeling Aronson's going to get one. I feel like there'll be a lot of. We'll be getting ball in box, hell of a lot. I think in this game there'll be the really good defensively. So I feel like that clear cut chance, try to work it in like we do, will be quite hard. So I feel like best approach to this game is get ball in box as much as you can. Hence why Pido needs to be on. And I feel like there'll be a lot of second balls on the edge of their area, and I want Aronson in and amongst it. But yeah, I think if Pido gets a 70-minute game, I think Pido scores 2 goals. But I aren't ruling out Aronson having a good goal in this one either. Yeah, I start him against his old club for sure. 100%. It's raining stars. I think that he gets at least 1 goal in it. 3-0 Leeds, easy game. I'd love it. I'd love it right with that Pido hat trick. Imagine the scenes if he gets an hat trick. 3 goals to Melier. Don't, mate. Don't. You're giving PTSD back to Sunderland game. But anyways, thanks so much in chat. Like I said you all already. Absolute legends. Thanks so much. It means a lot that you've spent your Friday night listening to me chat shit. But hope you liked it. Smash a like, subscribe, and we're back Sunday for the review after the game, and then I think it'll be Monday night for the final word with the Only Leeds Bros on their channel. It'll be on Monday, but obviously I'll let you know that on Sunday when we do the review of the game. So thanks so much. Take care, guys. Have a good weekend, and 3 points. Leeds. Still live. Cheers, guys. Thank you.